Hey guys, it's Carnage6 back again with another review, and this time we've got the Dragon's Lair Princess Daphne statue based on the classic arcade game from the 80s, and this statue is by a company called Tiki. Now, one thing you guys might not know about me is that I'm a huge classic video game collector, and especially I love Dragon's Lair. I collect everything Dragon's Lair. Yeah, I know I collect Dragon Ball stuff too, and it's not because they both have dragons in it. It's just that this game, when I was a kid, made such an impression on me. I remember going to the arcade and playing it, and it was like no other game out there because it used actual animation. I mean, now when you look back on it, it looks kind of simple, but back then it was amazing. I couldn't believe I was playing an actual cartoon. So I've always collected Dragon's Lair stuff, and there's hardly ever been anything released like in the way of figures to collect. You mostly had to buy the actual versions of the game or, various little collectibles, books and things, but they never had too many figures. Now we get this awesome premium statue by Electric Tiki, so I was psyched to get this. So why don't we take a look at it? Now, as you can see, the box is pretty awesome. We've got a picture of the statue, and behind it we have art inspired by the actual video game. So it looks pretty cool. And here's a shot of the side of the box. As you can see, it gives you all the stats on what exactly this statue is about. And it also shows a picture of the statue. And it actually has the original concept art. I'll see if I can zoom in on that. Of the design of the statue. Now here's a look at the bottom of the box. Now this statue is a limited edition of 325 pieces. Okay, so why don't we get to it and open it up? Okay, so now I'm going to attempt to unbox this on camera. I don't know how well that's going to work. But anyway, let's open her up. Oh, actually like this, the inside flap, if you can see that, has a little warning, don't damage your prize. The figure is very fragile, I'll keep that in mind. And on the other side, it's got an ad for Don Bluth's website. And if you're not familiar with Dragon's Lair, Don Bluth is the animator behind Dragon's Lair. He was also behind a bunch of movies from the 80s, like All Dogs Go to Heaven, Land Before Time, even American Tail. So, yeah. Now, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to open it on camera because it's all packed in there with styrofoam, as I hope it would be, because you don't want it to get damaged. So I'm going to cut now, and I'll be back when I've cut the statue free. Okay, now here's after I've cut the box open. As you can see, there's 3 sections. This is the main statue, this is the base, and this is some kind of accessory. Well, I don't know what it is. Oh, it's part of a sword. Oh, that's cool. And now, here we have the statue of Princess Daphne out of the box. And my initial impression, it looks amazing. I'm really liking it. So far, I've checked it out a little bit. I love the design. I really like the paint. There doesn't seem to be too much slop anywhere. But let's go in for a closer look, and I'll show you more. I'll show you why the statue is so awesome. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at the base. Now, I really like the design here that's got going on. It's got these little plastic bubbles, and it's got the Dragon's Lair logo. If you spin it around, it's got pictures of Princess Daphne and other bubbles from the game. That's a nice touch. This particular base doesn't really have anything to do with the Dragon's Lair game. It's just something that they made stylistically. But if we move a little bit further up, as you can see, we've got that sword sticking out. And I do have a slight complaint about this. It doesn't really plug in. It just kind of sits there, so you might want to glue that. I don't know. It's up to you. And we got the treasure. Now, if you didn't know, in the Dragon's Lair game, Princess Daphne is being held captive by the dragon, and she's in the dragon's treasure room. So she's always lying on top of coins and stuff like that. There's coins and treasure and stuff all around. So this part of the base is quite awesome. And I guess they just did this style. It still looks good, mind you, but this is the one that's really accurate to the game. And now we have a closer look at the head sculpt and the upper body. Now the first thing, if you're a guy, that you're going to notice is that for being trapped by a fire-breathing dragon, she sure is, how do I put this, kind of cold? But No, they didn't do that just to sell the statue. If you look at the original drawings and the original animation from the actual game, it's like that in the game. So it is accurate. And I have heard complaints about people talking about that they think the sculpt is off and it doesn't look like her at all. I mean, I'm going to post some comparison photos later, but I gotta tell you, taking a 2D character and turning it into 3D is probably one of the hardest things to do, and I think that this sculptor and Electric Tiki have done a great job. There's a whole bunch of stuff I really like about this statue, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And, I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, but again, when you're going from a 2D medium to a 3D medium, it's kind of hard to get it exactly right. I think people are not going to be satisfied no matter what you do. But for me, as a huge Dragon's Lair fan, I am very happy and satisfied with this figure. Now, I do have a couple of minor little complaints. You can kind of see over the shoulder here, there's a bit of slop. I don't know if that's intentional, like a big glob of black paint. It looks kind of weird. Don't know if it was intentional. It's not really a big deal. But, you know, if you're paying 170 bucks, which is what I paid for this statue, you kind of want things to be exactly perfect. Now, one touch I really like is how they appear to have her floating on the ground. As you can see, her foot is not actually touching here, and the cape kind of supports her. This is accurate to the game because if you don't know the game, through most of the game she's trapped in a huge bubble, floating in a bubble, so this thing about her kind of floating there is accurate. But again, I'm with some of the people who are complaining about the statue. They should have made it in the bubble if they were going to do something like that, and I kind of agree. It's not a big deal. I still like the design, but you know, if you're going for accuracy on the game, you kind of want that. And it just attaches, if you wanted to know, there's two metal pegs here, and this is the only thing keeping the statue in the base, so you want to be careful about that. There's also other things like the hands up here, the fingers. Those are so tiny and thin, you want to be extra careful. You don't want to break those off. And those will easily break off, so just be careful. Now, the other thing I really, really like about this statue is this clear see-through material, this plastic that they use. In the game, she has a very sheer see-through, sparkly dress, and they've recreated that amazingly. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but they did. They actually, I don't know if you can see this on camera. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's actually sparkles in this material, and it goes like all the way up, like it, you know, it's all throughout the thing, as it should be, because she kind of had, like I said, an outer dress or cape or whatever you like to call it, and it was all sparkly and see-through, and the statue recreates that pretty much perfectly, I think. Now, one more slight complaint I do have, and I'm not sure how it's going to show up too, is like, I see what they were going for with the eye looking off to the side, the eyes looking off to the side. It kind of, but the way it's painted on mine, it kind of makes her look a bit cross-eyed. I don't know if you can see that. When you turn at certain angles, like it's supposed to be displayed, I guess, like this, so she's kind of looking like that, but if you display it any other way, it kind of looks like she's just cross-eyed a bit. I mean, you know, it's not a deal breaker for me. As long as you keep her like looking like that, you should be okay, you know, in that general direction. But it's just something to keep an eye on, a little minor nitpick. So now, why don't I do a 360 degree and show you all the detail?
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted it with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the Dragon's Lair. Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits. Dragon's Lair, Time Warp.
Kidnapped? Oh, Daddy!
Idiot!
Spirited away to a wrinkle in time by the evil wizard Mordroc, Daphne will be forced to marry the wicked Mordroc unless Dirk can save her.
Daphne kidnapped?
Mommy's gone.
Transported by a bumbling old time machine, Dirk begins the rescue mission.
Mine!
Do it for the children. Once the casket of doom has opened, Mordroc will place the death ring upon Daphne's finger in marriage, and she will be lost forever in the Time Warp.
So guys, what do you think? Does it look like Princess Daphne from the Dragon's Lair games to you? Oh yeah, and one thing I kind of forgot to mention about this figure. There is a special limited edition of 50 figures that is some kind of artist proof version. I don't know if the actual statue is different from this one, but it comes with a certificate signed by some of the creators of Dragon's Lair, like Don Bluth especially, and I think 2 other people signed it. So if you really want to track that down, good luck. It's limited to 50, whereas this is, what, 325 or whatever it was? So, just thought I'd let you guys know that. So guys, that's about it for my review. Like I said before, I really like this figure just for the fact that we hardly ever get any Dragon's Lair figures, so this statue is awesome. Now, I only wish that they would make a Dirk the Daring statue, and, the dragon statue would be pretty cool. I guess it couldn't be in scale because it would be humongous, but, give us something. I do really like the sculpt. I do really like the pose. I love the floating base, how it looks with the treasure and everything. There are a few nitpicks. Again, the cross-eye thing is kind of weird. I wish they would have fixed that a little bit. I don't know why. It looks better in the prototype image than it does on the actual figure. A little bit of paint slop. I could do without that as well, especially after paying $170 for it. But all in all, I gotta say, as a Dragon's Lair fan, I am happy. And I hope that they continue to do these Dragon's Lair statues. So, until next time, I'll see ya.